Hi, everybody. My name is Lyrata Barrett, and I do the monthly meditations with Lyrata for the Institute for Global Transformation. And I would like to speak to you today about some aspects of deeper understanding, one, also about the upcoming full moon, two, and then we'll go into actually a meditation, three. Okay, let's do the full moon first. We're 3 days away from October 20th, wherein there will be a full moon. It's in the month of Libra. We usually say the Libran full moon at 10:56:32 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay, meditating around or banking into the exact time of the full moon is extremely powerful. For those of you who are meditating or beginning a practice of meditation, and the Libran full moon, this particular Libran full moon, seems to be packing a very powerful punch. It is a period of time wherein the energies that came in earlier in the month of Taurus during the Wesak Spring Festival ground themselves on our planet within the body of humanity. And as such, can create aspects of kerfluffles, as they say. Okay. It is a powerful time. And this particular full moon, the aspects of it can be rather, what's the word, strong, to say the least. If you'd like to know more about it, I highly recommend pamgregory.com, www.pamgregory.com. She is a wonderful, wonderful astrologer who explains things in a way that we get it. And so I recommend her highly. And of course, there are other astrologers, Marvin Atley, who puts out a newsletter every month just before the full moon comes up, and also Philip Lindsay, who's a little bit more, both of them are a little bit more, their terminology or their lingo can sometimes evade you if you're not familiar with astrology lingo, but it's not totally all astrology lingo. They talk about a lot of different things that will really support your understanding and really develop your understanding of how astrology works in our world and how we, humanity, react to it as a result of that. So today I'm going to be speaking, this will be a two-part session. It begins today and will continue a month from now, okay? Because we only want these sessions to last really no more than about 45 minutes. Before I move into that, one thing you should know in reference to this Libran full moon is that the enormous tension that's gripping our planet in these days of storm and strife underlines the demand for the essential balance of Libra. Libra is more about balance than anything else. Libra is all about harmony. It's about maintaining a clear, detached, dispassionate point of discrimination regardless of the situation in which we might find ourselves. That takes a lot of strength, focus, willpower. Libra is about justice, which has nothing to do with anyone's opinion, but is in fact the name we give to the path of light itself, upon which we endeavor to walk. Just to give you some background, a little bit of a background there as to, there's more, but I won't go too far into that. I don't consider myself an astrologer, although I am an aficionado of astrology. Our most difficult task is to know ourselves. Yet that is what we are here to do. That's why we are on this planet. Along with developing through that knowledge and the wisdom gained as a result of it. And in the process, rather, of doing this, we are working to understand our world, the world in which we live, using the tools that are available to us to understand it, i.e., 1, astrology, 2, ageless wisdom teachings. You could include in that metaphysical teachings, teachings on spirituality, or anything that supports that in your world. Also, through working with nature, Mother Nature herself, as well as, and last, learning how to coexist with humanity, learning what right relationship is, okay? And working to attain right relationships with everyone that we meet, incur, have a relationship with, family, friends, peers, co-workers. What do we know of ourselves? And how do we learn even more? Questions come to mind like, of what are we made? Where did we come from? We are truly a very miraculous species in and of itself. When we think of it, we're told we were made in the likeness of God or the divine. We are a spark of divine fire. Within us, we are first and foremost a focal point of the divine spark, which is a spirit. We are a part of the one life, God. We are in that we are trying to understand ourselves. And each of us are at different aspects of that journey. We can say that we are the infant sons of God. Everyone that is human holds this divine spark within them, no matter who they are, no matter their race, religion, gender, doesn't make a difference. We're all divine sparks. We all hold that divine spark within us. We're divine beings. We are also, and this is all of humanity, a radiation of consciousness that emanates spherically from us through the soul. And it is the soul of humanity that is undergoing a major growth spurt right now in these times, which is why we see so much chaos. and seeming confusion. No matter what it looks like on the outside, know that it can look one way on the outside and be something totally different on the inside. Okay? That's important. And we as humanity are a state of consciousness inhabiting an organized body of energies and forces at the periphery of that radiating sphere, which we call soul, known as the personality. That word, personality, comes from the root word persona. It's a Greek word, which means mask. Our persona, our personality is our mask. So imagine a circle with a dot right in the center of it, a large circle with a dot in the center of it. That dot then would be our spirit. The space within and around that center dot would be our soul. And the circle, the ring pass knot, the boundary, that circle on the outside is our persona. That's a symbol of each of us, so to speak. When consciousness is identified with its body of appearances, it's physical, of which it's threefold. Our body of appearance is threefold. It consists of our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body. This is an aspect of our persona. This is our mask. It is that which the personality uses in this realm, this world in which we live, in order to navigate. Okay? It is said it's physical, mental, emotional, and mental. It is said one is when one is focused on that physical body, one is focused and identified and oriented with their persona, with the mask. It is said that then one is a prisoner within the energies of their persona. So again, when consciousness is identified with its body, its physical body, its emotional body, and its mental body, it is said that one is identified with their persona, their physical body, their physical being, their personality. It is said that one then is a prisoner, imprisoned, so to speak, within that body, thinking that that is all there is. Okay? One is identified, the teachings are taught that one is identified with the separated self. Okay? It's very important. Thus, one is in their world and how they navigate their world. One is living through a separative nature. And this is an aspect of how we know oneself, how we begin to learn who we are, because we begin to understand and appreciate that there is more than what we consider to be our separated self, that we are not just this physical shell that we inhabit. Because the body appears as a life separate from other lives. Okay? One, as a prisoner, is limited by the outer periphery of one's being. Okay? Which is, as we said, threefold in nature. But remember, humanity is a divine entity, and we are evolving. And our evolutionary trajectory is a long span of time. It takes incarnations for us to be able to begin to become the vehicle with which our soul can work through. For many, 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 many incarnations, we are simply working through the aspect of the personality. So, as I said though, humanity is a divine entity, each and every one of us, and all of us collectively. Thus, spirit is reflected into a mind nature. Soul is reflected into an emotional nature. And the substantial aspect of our being, that substance that we are, that divine spark, is reflected into the physical nature. And this is the aspect of that evolutionary trajectory of beginning to know ourselves, which is what we started out with in the very beginning of this talk. How do we get to know ourselves? At some point, we as humanity, individually and as group, begins that journey back home. Back home means, what does that mean? It means the aspect of moving from that imprisoned being, thinking that we are the separated self, to realizing that we are much more than that. And as a result of that, seeking that higher alignment out, seeking what our real purpose is. Okay? So, in any given lifetime, we do this. We begin that journey back home. Not every lifetime, but at some point, as a matter of fact, what happens is, for most of our life, many of our incarnations, we live in what's called, we live within the path of experience. We kind of float in that sea of experience, the ocean of experience. And we go from one experience to the other. I've mentioned this, I think, in other sessions. We go from one experience to the other and think unaware that each of those experiences are related to each other. There's a pattern that will help us understand and know ourselves. Okay? So, and at some point in time, as we bob up and down from experience to experience, colliding and moving and about, finally, we kind of get washed up on a beach. And we can sit on that beach for long periods of time or get up immediately. But when we decide to get up and start to walk from that beach that we have been floating in for incarnations and pick up our cross and walk, that's when we begin a brand new journey of awareness, of consciousness, of beginning to understand that there is a pattern in the fabric of our lives that we have been living. And that there's a story. If we take time to look at each of these experiences, we'll begin to understand more and more about ourselves and life and humanity and our relationships together, okay? Which will create this tapestry, this woven tapestry of knowledge about ourselves, which if we take the time to understand the puzzle, we begin to move into wisdom in and of itself. Okay? So, yeah, that's when we begin what's called many things. One of the things it's called is the path of initiation. But that's for a later topic down the road. So as I said in the very beginning of this particular session, that this session was going to be in two parts. So I've given you part one, and we will continue this part, this journey on how to understand ourselves, why we are here, what are we to learn, and how do we kind of put it all together. Part two next week. But now let's take a moment for a meditation. And I ask that you take your meditative posture, close your eyes, try to make sure your spine is as straight as it can be. And take a deep breath. And as you release it, relax your physical body. Feel into your toes. And feel each portion of your body as we move through it becoming warm and relaxed. Relax your feet. Feel into your ankles and your lower legs, up to your knees. Feel it becoming warm and loose and relaxed. In your thighs, your hip area, warm and loose and relaxed, inside and outside. Your lower back, your stomach, your lower chest, upper chest, shoulders, and feel that warmth moving down the arms and out through the fingertips everything becoming relaxed. And feel that warmth extend upward through the neck and the jaws, and the base of the tongue, and the head, the scalp, and the muscles behind the eyes. Allow the breath to find its own natural rhythm. And have a sense of an all-pervading calmness and comfort. Within your physical body. Take a second deep breath. And as you release it, feel into your emotional body. See it as a pool of water. Calm the surface of that water. Until that water becomes smooth and glassy and reflective of the sun's light. And take a third deep breath. And move into the mental body. See your mind becoming awake, alert, and totally focused. And move your awareness to that space between the shoulder blades, in the back of your body, where the shoulder blades meet. Two to 3 inches beyond the physical body. This is your heart center. in this heart center, become still and contemplate your conscious identity as a divine Son of God, or the One Life, or Divinity, whatever name is your preference. And say, I, in your mind and your name, am the Son of God, inhabiting this body for a time in order to grow, to develop, to be at one with the One Life. My Divine Father. And as you sit in this heart center, two to 3 inches behind your back, at the point where the shoulder blades meet, imagine this center being of electric, blue and white lines of force, or lines of energy. Spherical in shape, that conduct the golden energy of love into the emotional body. See yourself in miniature, in the center. See yourself as a tiny golden replica of the form you know. And this heart center, see it as a cave in the heart. And see if you can shift your consciousness from its normal focus into the image, the tiny golden image of you. And upon doing so, take a few moments to think on the following seed thought. I am the divine child of God, born in the cave of the heart, to know and experience love. Allow the frequency of that statement to ring and let the words go. And simply focus on the frequency of the words, of the sentence. The words no longer matter. Its essence is of all importance. We'll hold this focus for about a minute. Spend a few moments radiating love to your family, to your friends, to your enemies, those who think and react out of fear and ignorance, to your fellow human beings wherever they are, and finally to your environment. realize that no matter who we are all a one life. Take a deep breath. And as you release it, relax your attention and return to normal focus. This is a meditation that you can do to move you from an emotional polarization more into a heart focus. In these meditations, we are progressively moving deeper and deeper. And so we will continue in our next session with part 2 of this work. And I'm drawing this work, I should share with you, I'm drawing this work from Lucille Cederkran's book called Creative Thinking. Okay? Very, very important body of work, especially for those who are beginning the path, for aspirants, those who are beginning the path and who are interested in developing a strong meditative practice with a deepening of the philosophy and the wisdom behind it. Okay? And this, not just behind meditation, but behind the wisdom itself, within the wisdom itself. We thank everybody for your attention and focus on this meditational moment, meditation with Lyrata, again brought to you by the Institute for Global Transformation, who is doing some fantastic work. I suggest that if you're interested, please look at www.ifgt.org for much more information on many events that happen throughout the week and the month, with some really stellar teachers of the wisdom and people who are doing some fantastic work throughout the world. I thank you and look forward to being with you again next month. Until we meet again, take care.